So here we are at Rubio Woods in Midlothian, Illinois, or on the western outskirts of Midlothian, Illinois. This road right here is 143rd Street, and across the street from here, across 143rd, is the entrance to Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, or to a little trail that leads to the cemetery. And this trail right here is the Red Trail, and it circles through this large cluster of forest preserves that exists right here in this part of the south suburbs of Chicago. So where we are on 143rd Street right now is 2 or 3 miles east of Harlem Avenue. And so Rubio Woods is the most convenient place to park if you want to visit Bachelor's Grove. And so I'm going to cross the road right here. There's not much traffic today. It happens to be Independence Day, the 4th of July. And it's a nice, cool day with some cloud cover. I don't know if it's actually expected to rain or not, but it's a good day for a hike and for some exploration of local history. So here's the trail, and it says closed. That means closed for motor vehicles, of course. You can walk right in here. This place is not locked up or anything in the daytime. It's legal and fine and everything to come here in the daytime. But most of the forest preserves in the Chicago area, in Cook County at least, DuPage County, Will County, Lake County, are open from sunrise to sunset, so the days are very long at this time of year. So if you're around at night, the Forest Preserve District Police would, make you leave if they saw you or found you anywhere around here. But that's true in any of our forest preserves. So there goes a rabbit. Anyway, you can find a lot on YouTube about Bachelor's Grove, including an episode of the Travel Channel show Ghost Adventures, because this is a popular place for ghost hunting and that sort of thing. I actually came here just a couple days ago on Saturday for the first time in a good 12 or 13 years, and there were some people setting up for what I'm guessing was a session of ghost hunting or whatever. So Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, which is not far from where we're at on the trail right now, is reputed to be one of the most haunted cemeteries, and I guess one of the most haunted places in general in Chicagoland, or even in the United States, or even in the world. So people like to say that they've seen ghosts or orbs, mysterious lights and things like that around here. I never have myself, but many people have reported these things. And there are also a lot of spooky legends associated with the place. You can see these woods here that we're in are quite dense and overgrown, especially at this time of year. There aren't any big trails like the Red Trail that are nice and wide and paved through this patch of woods. At least I'm not aware of any very close to here. There are some narrow hiking trails, including one. I think that's one right there, actually. And they tend to be very overgrown, and actually there's one that you can access from a neighborhood around here, I think off of Menard Avenue or Major Avenue, or one of those M avenues. And it will lead you ultimately to this trail that we're on right now. And it's very narrow and very overgrown. And there is supposed to be somewhere out in those woods. Well, I've seen a video on YouTube where some guys are making their way through these woods, and they come to the remnants of an old shack of some kind. But there's no record of any large farmhouse or anything in this area, and possibly these woods have never actually been plowed or farmed or anything. Also, there's a legend. Well, I mention that because there's a legend of a ghost farmhouse that looks like an old Victorian house that appears and disappears in these woods. But I've never seen anything like that, as I said. So here we are at the cemetery. You can see that on this side there's sort of a ditch, sort of a little drainage ditch surrounding it, and there's an old fence with the pointed metal ends of the chain link on the top. And there used to be barbed wire on that fence too. Obviously there isn't anymore. And there used to be a gate right here, and now there isn't, so you can just walk right in. Even at night you could just walk right in, but of course you're not supposed to be here at night. So we'll check out that trail later. I just heard something. But anyway, so you can see there's really it's not a big place, and there really aren't all that many grave markers. But there are actually many more people buried here than are represented by these markers. And in fact, because this place was rumored to be a haunted hotspot for so long, and still is, there was a long period really, in the 20th century and early in this century, when people would come here and get up to no good. So a lot of these graves were tampered with or vandalized, etc. So the place again is called Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, and some say that it was originally called Batch Elders Grove, both the cemetery and the woods surrounding it. And it's disputed why or how it came to have the name that it has today. Oh, there's a little sign here. What does this say? Please take one and return bag to fence. Look for us on Facebook, The Path to Bachelor's Grove. Oh, okay. Well, I'll take one of those. Well, I'll get one on the way out. Anyway. Let's walk around a little. Walk around by the fence line. You can see the sad state that a lot of these monuments are in. This one, you can't see much of it. I'm not sure how much more there might be to it underground. Anyway, we'll walk this way. William Frank Mendenhall. Most of these monuments, most of these people whose names are on these monuments have English names, and I guess the original wave of immigrants that settled this area were of English extraction, and later there were some Germans who came. And if I understand correctly, they came directly from Europe, whereas a lot of people in different parts of Chicagoland were European immigrants who came here by way of upstate New York So over here it's kind of overgrown with prairie grass by the fence and the ditch. Prairie grass and prairie plants, I should say. Some of these might be wild parsnip, which is a prairie plant that's getting attention lately in the media, the local media. It's an invasive species, and it has a sap that has a chemical in it that eats away at your skin in an acid-like fashion. So I'm not touching any of that. Here we are along the fence. Here's another monument that's toppled over. Deck, it says. So you can see that a lot of these monuments are knocked over or graffitied or whatever. Even some of the trees are tagged. But the place is actually in pretty good condition right now. I remember coming here in the late 90s and early 2000s when I would have been 18 or 18 to 20, 21 with my friends, and we would meet all kinds of characters here, ghost hunters and other teenagers and other folk who were looking for some sort of adventure. And this might be the remains of an old monument right here. And this certainly is, but whatever was inscribed on it is almost totally obliterated. Shields. Charles, Elizabeth, and Robert. And most of these burials, well, most of these people buried here lived in the 19th and early 20th centuries. And I think someone even was buried here in the late 20th century, and I think that was the last one. This is a very well-known monument here. People have left little knickknacks on it. It's actually a beautiful, ornate stone. And over here is where the infant daughter of the family is interred. And so people have left little souvenirs there as well. Here come some people. But that's all right. We'll just keep on going. So around here, there's this bog. You can see it's crusted over with this green algae or whatever it is. And of course, there are legends that the mob used to dump dead bodies in here. And here is a little bit of a hiking trail. And of course, you know, this place is going to be infested with bugs. And there's a little duck with cute little ducklings swimming on the surface of the pond. It's actually a quarry pond, now that I think of it. And the Tinley Creek runs through here, through this area also. Let's walk a little bit on this narrow trail here. I have been on this trail before, but I only faintly remember it. So many narrow little pathways through here. But again, you want to watch out for that wild parsnip if there is